Hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and wow. Just wow. I know that not a lot of people still watch The Walking Dead, or maybe that's a lie. Maybe a lot of people still do watch The Walking Dead, just not nearly as much people as they used to. So it feels like the show isn't as hot anymore. Not as many people are talking about it. But I will say the build up to Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln's last couple episodes has been serious. It has been high. Especially for me, this character has been my favorite character since day one. Maybe it's because we've been following him since day one, but I remember that for a lot of people, everybody loved Shane at the beginning. Everybody was Team Shane, and they wanted him to be the leader. They wanted him to take over. And it wasn't until Rick killed those two guys, those two assholes at the bar, where people came around on Rick. Whereas for me, I was always behind Rick, and I've liked this actor, Andrew Lincoln. Rick Grimes, I thought was a credible leader, a family man, a father, just a great leader. I was dreading the idea of them killing him off in a way that seemed half-ass. And so after the last episode, the previous, where him and Daryl got into a little fight and they wound up in that hole, I thought something was going to happen right then and there. But the beginning of this episode, you see him, the horse that he was riding threw him off, and he landed on this spike that pierced through his stomach. And fuck, that end shot in the last episode of him laying there and the zombies coming in on him just looked awful. Awful. I mean, it looked like that's it. The next episode is going to start with him being eaten alive. This is like as brutal as you can imagine. So, no, he wakes up. He forces himself up and back onto the horse. And throughout the episode, you see him on this horse, blood everywhere, a bunch of walkers behind him, because he's trying to lure the walkers away from the camp. We see that it doesn't really work, because they do overrun the camp eventually. But he is just struggling and pulling himself, and seeing Rick go through this, seeing him lose all that blood, seeing all the times that he did pass out and he would wake up in this almost alternate reality dream-like state. And the first conversation he had was with Shane. John Bernthal came back, and it was great. It was easily my favorite of the people that he talked to, cast members. Shane is somebody that, yeah, he was killed off after the second season, and that's crazy to think that that was 7 years ago at this point. But I loved that actor. I loved their dynamic. It felt like he's been here just in this one scene, and them going back and forth. Their friendship still was there. Like, I liked that it was back to them being friends. Him asking about Judith, does she have my eyes? Like, that was all nice, and Rick laughed about it. And then I loved the moment where he wake up, and then woke up and there were walkers coming in on him. That was a great transition because it jumped me up. And next person he talked to was Herschel, which was very nice to see the actor back. They obviously shot this before the actor passed away, right before the beginning of this show coming back. And it was just nice, especially knowing that that's our last time we'll get to see him at all involved with the show. So a little eerie too in that way. And the last person we saw him talk to in that creepy moment of he went through the hospital hallways, don't open, dead inside, open the doors this time, which was cool, and you go in and everybody's dead. All these people, all these characters that we know, the cast, are all dead. And he's talking to Sasha, which I thought was interesting. It was nice to see Sasha back, but Rick never had this connection to her. He wasn't that close with her. So I don't know if him talking to her was the right move, or if it had the same impact. I don't think it should have been Lori, because he's now moved on with Michonne, and I like him with Michonne. I like by the end of the episode, he realizes almost that, hey, Michonne and Judith are his family now, and that's what he's been searching for ultimately at the end of it. Like, I like the message behind that. So bringing Lori back would not have been the move. Probably Carl. Coral. Where the hell was Coral? Seriously. I don't care if the actor's cut his hair since then. I really think that last conversation should have been with Carl. It would have been huge. And the way it looked like it was going for Rick, I think it was much needed, but we didn't get it, unfortunately. Before I get further with it, let's talk about Maggie, who was hell-bent on going to Alexandria and killing Negan. And honestly, I was 110% with Maggie, and even Daryl. I didn't like that Daryl got physical with Rick. And trust me, I understood where Rick was coming from. Rick, favorite character, yes, but I didn't always agree with him. But just because I might not always agree with him doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to hate him for that moment. I see some fans are quick to do that. Oh, they're doing this? I don't like him anymore. No. Even if I disagree with Rick, I can still understand his point of view. Obviously, he's doing this because of Carl's letter and how he wanted everyone to... Like, it's an unrealistic stance, but hey, I appreciate that he tried. But Maggie, her point of view is tenfold. I love that the conversation she had with Michonne and how she was being rational. She was being like, I can live with this. I've lived with this for a year and a half, and I'm barely going by because all I'm thinking about is what he did to Glenn and how he's still around and how he shouldn't be, how he should have died in the last season finale. Everything she's saying, we've all been saying. I love that she even put it back to Michonne and said, what if he killed Rick? Tell me you wouldn't kill him as well. And that's so true. It is. It's so true. So Michonne even gives her the keys. Maggie goes in there. And I wanted Maggie to kill him. I did. I've tried to get back into Negan. The scenes he had with Rick or Michonne behind bars. It wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't. And even when he was trying to still be menacing to Maggie, but obviously he was trying to get her to kill him, it didn't really work. She wanted to see him, and she did see him in the light, and he was frail. He was pathetic. He's a shell of his former self. And Maggie said, I came here to kill Negan, and you're clearly not Negan anymore. You're just a broken mess. So yeah, it makes sense that she didn't ultimately go through with it, but man, what am I supposed to think of Negan now? Am I supposed to really have sympathy for the guy? Sure, his wife died, and he wanted to be back with her, so he wanted Maggie to kill him. Sure, but I think we're done. We're done. If we killed the governor, if we've killed all these other villains, I don't really see what makes Negan any different. I really think we should be done with him at this point. And back to Rick, though, you see that he barely makes it to the bridge, and he's luring the walkers across the bridge. And Andrew Lincoln played this so well, just how spent he was and how it looked like he could get attacked, bit, or anything at any minute. And then the crew shows up, shooting arrows through the walkers. They're all trying to get to him because they see that he's hurt, and he sees dynamite. He shoots at it, blows the bridge up, and I had a feeling something like this would happen. I was dreading watching the episode because I did not want to see Rick die. That was my main thing of like, I don't want to go through this episode and see him eaten by walkers or see them find him as a walker and have to put him down. And even the moment where he blew the bridge up and the fire and it looked like he was dead, I just was like, I can't. I can't. It's like, I really don't want to continue watching the show after this. How can you have a show without your main character? It felt uneasy. It felt wrong. I know the actor, this was his choice. He wanted to leave. So you can't blame the writers to a point because they had to do it. But it still just didn't feel right. And then the character Anne, the garbage lady, she had a side plot of interacting with these people on a walkie-talkie in a helicopter, and I guess if she had somebody with her, she could leave with them. I don't really understand this deal. I don't know what the quid pro quo thing is. Like, what does her having somebody else matter for why she gets picked up? Who are these people she's talking to? What does this all consist of? Is she selling somebody into a sex slave ring or something? I don't know. But Anne finds Rick's body at the end of like the river, and Rick is still moving. So I'm like, holy crap, they didn't kill this guy. Yeah, you're gonna say it felt too TV-like. Oh, he survived this explosion. How the fuck did that happen? It's unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. I honestly don't care, because I'm glad that they didn't kill him. I'm glad that it wasn't just like, oh yeah, no, he's a walker, he's done, he's dead. I'm so sick of seeing characters I like dead or killed over and over again on this show. I like that Anne got Rick, took him on this helicopter. I guess she's gone as well. But Rick, she said, you're going to be okay. He's saved. So he is taken somewhere. I assume far, far away, because he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. I like that they kept it open-ended where he could come back in a season or two if he wanted. That's the way to go. And then if the show ends and we never see Rick again, at least we can say he got his happy ending. So I more am okay with that. I'm more than happy with that. But then the preview to the next, they said 3 episodes, looks like a time jump, because we see this random group of people being almost overtaken by walkers, and then a little girl shooting at them. She's a great shot. She puts on the cowboy hat, and she's like, I'm Judith Grimes. First of all, this actress that's older looks nothing like the blonde little girl that we just saw before. But apparently we're doing a time jump of a few years, and so what? I don't know how I feel about the time jump. I don't know if I like it. It seems a bit weird. Maybe they felt like, hey, this is our chance to do something different. We are getting rid of Rick, so we want to change some of the dynamics of these characters a little bit. We'll go forward. Okay, fine. I don't think I'm going to like this little girl as an actress. Like, I like that Judith is going to be a badass young girl. Like, that's cool. But this actress so far hasn't won me over. I don't know. I have to see how this goes, if I'm into it, if this show can still be watchable and interesting without Rick Grimes around. I know a lot of people are done after tonight. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you saw tonight's episode, Rick's very last episode so far. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you think it was a good send-off? I think it was a good send-off. I think they treated the character very respectfully. Are you going to continue watching the show, or are you done with it? Did you not even watch tonight? Are you just done with the show completely? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!